here to see if anybody hops on with us and let the algorithm do its thing.
Do your
Good
thing,
morning, my sweet
algorithm.
huh?
I said, do your thing, algorithm.
Do your thing, algorithm. Can you turn up your phone, do you think? Maybe that will
Turn
help your
up
volume.
my
Yes,
volume on my
so I
phone.
can hear you.
It's
I
up
think
a little
sometimes
bit.
it's just me that can't hear you, but when I listen to our videos back, I can hear you fine on the other. So
Can you hear me now?
yeah, it's just a little echoey and things. Hello,
Oh,
welcome to Astro Insights Live. I'm still just going to wait another 30 seconds to see if anyone wants to join us, and then we'll get started. We are talking about astrology today, the astrology for next week. And we will also, around 10:30, we will do a live tarot card reading, talking about the energies for next week or maybe a transit. I'm not sure. But anyway, good morning. I'm going to go ahead
good
and get started.
morning.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Astro Insights Live. My name is Jennifer Rose, and I'm here with my sweet spouse, Melanie Rose, astrologer.
Hello,
And
everybody.
today and every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, we go live and we discuss next week's astrology and mix it in with a little intuitive vibes, a tarot card reading around 10:30, and we talk about current events. First, we're going to start off with a little bit of recap of last week and just kind of talk about the things that we witnessed or experienced ourselves, and then Melanie will bring us on into next week, and we'll just kind of go back and forth and do the tarot card reading. So thank you so much
Yes,
for joining us here today. We appreciate and value you so much.
yes.
Good
Thank
morning,
you all so
Mel.
much for being here. Good morning, my love. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good, good. So, starting with last week, because, it's been a heck of a week in the world. It's been a heck of a week kind of uh, in the news. We woke up to a lot of protests and a lot of flooding. So, uh, I want to say that last week, uh, which is actually it's Sunday, so it's this past week, has brought us some signatures for standing up for what we believe in, standing up for what is responsible and necessary at this time. We entered the week with Neptune having just entered Aries, so that is, a very collective kind of vibration, taking initiative and taking action. And then on Friday, we had this triangle culminate on the chart that includes Mars being trine to Saturn, which is sort of a really good signature for making things happen, especially when you're talking about what you think is structurally sound or responsible. Making things happen, like taking action and seeing good things come out of it. And then, but the thing is that they're both triangulated with Uranus at the apex of that, which is a helpful vibration. But it's like we're gonna have to rebel a little bit. We're gonna have to make some different choices. We're going to have to be open to some changes in terms of getting things back to the structural way that we need them to be.
Yes. I'm glad you touched. I'm so tuned into the environmental changes that we're going through, especially, the weather, the earthquakes, the floods, and what have you. And on Thursday, I think that was April 3rd, I've got it written down here. On Thursday, I watched storm chasers all over the place. And at one point in time, I watched Max Velocity on YouTube. At one point in time, Max was struggling with like 30 tornado warnings, anywhere from Arkansas. I mean, flood warnings, just the whole bit on Thursday. And I think I spent most of my day just watching the storm chasers show us what's going on. And, I think it's really valid to just, say like, I think at that time the moon was in Cancer on Thursday, and it
Yes,
was
the moon
feeling
went
a
into
little
Cancer.
watery. I'm gonna look this up really quickly. I thought I had this written down already, but I keep losing a little bit of. So on Thursday, the aspects for that were Of course, the sun in Aries, moon square Saturn, moon square Venus, moon square Mercury, and then the moon went into Cancer that evening, and then moon square Neptune, Neptune, ruler of the waters, So here we are, just kind of drowning in, some real big chaos, like
Mhm.
and there was something really about, our thought processes, and as people were watching these storm chasers live, the questions were kind of like, "Why are those people driving into that storm?" You can see that it's a tornado on the ground, and still yet people were just driving into it, driving around it, driving very, very
Mhm.
close to it, and, one of the storm chasers was even like, "No, don't do that," they were just, like, trying to tell people, like, trying to warn people. But people were still just, like, going toward the storm, and it made me think philosophically, like, why do we choose sometimes just head to the storm? We think if we just nothing to it but to go through it, but with a tornado, that's a little bit different. And I think this time there were a lot of people, even you can check on YouTube, there are a lot of people that even got stuck in these tornadoes, stories about people driving through them and videoing them on purpose, and that seems a little bit like Aries and Venus retrograde, like a FAFO kind of, like idea plus,
Uh-huh.
like they were just like it was a PDS, particularly dangerous situation with those tornadoes,
Mhm.
and a PDS, particularly dangerous situation with the floods even. There was so much rain. I think I heard 18 inches of rain near Little Rock, Arkansas.
Mhm.
So, we really are crying some tears. We're really shedding some passion here, and we're collecting them, and now it's overflowing,
Yeah.
overflowing into the streets, much like our protests.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
all of us are kind of in some things together now, or being forced in the same situation right now. And if we can look at the situation for what it is, that we all need and want the same things, even after a disaster, I think it
Mhm.
will bring us much closer. So while this sucks and it's catastrophic and people have lost their lives and their homes and
Mhm.
et cetera, there is still good to come of this. Okay. There's still a fight to be had. There's still, some passions and some intellect. As we get into the astrology, we'll see Mercury going direct and Venus going direct. And I think those two things are going to be really powerful ways with which we can move forward.
Absolutely. Seeing that Neptune is in Aries and seeing those storms charge in that bold way gives me a very Neptune and Aries vibe. And then also the way people are just foolhardily driving straight into the fog, driving straight into the rain-wrapped storm, driving straight into the tornado. That's also very Neptune and Aries. And then, people are made of water. So it's interesting. It is interesting, like you said, to see water flowing up into the streets and sort of blocking traffic and making things challenging and making itself known. And then also people rushing into the streets and blocking traffic and making themselves known. Like there is an overwhelm of collective emotion, and it is it is an assertive vibration right now, and it's going to be an assertive vibration like this for a couple of months until Neptune moves back into Pisces at the end of the year, and then next year moves back into Aries. So it'll be interesting to see how we can compare, like what's going on with the weather and what's going on in terms of the people. Nice background there, Jennifer. When Neptune moves back into Aries next year, you found yourself a filter, huh? A cool background.
I'm sorry. I
Were
can
you
barely
playing
hear
around?
you, so if I don't respond appropriately, like, it's because I really can't hear what you're saying, and I apologize for that background situation. I'm like, "What can I do? What can I do?" Yes. So do you wanna go ahead and get started with the
So
next week's
So
or
coming
this
into this
week's?
week, I also just want to say that today is Sunday, and today is the day when the Sun makes a sextile to Jupiter. Jupiter is in Gemini. This is about proliferating our message. This is about sharing our message. It's about collaborating over a shared message. So Sun sextile to Jupiter is very good fortune, especially in your work, social, and civic life right now, to share what you have to say what you think, to share people creatively what is on your mind, and to get your message out. And also today, Venus, although still retrograde in Pisces, does a trine to Mars, and this is going to hang out with us for 2 months. So this is real ease in relating with other people. It feels like sort of being on the same page. Venus is in a water sign, Mars is in a water sign. Venus is more comfortable than Mars. I think they can help each other out. And I think it's really still about, really powerful personal expression and our ability to get along with others, along the lines of that powerful personal expression and getting our message out. Which, the message is that, this is supposed to be a place for the people and by the people, and it's not right now. So we're trying to get it back. We're trying to get of the people and by the people and for the people back. We're trying to make sure that everybody still has a chance to vote the next time the vote comes around, because this past vote did not go as well for the Republicans as they thought that it would. So uh, with that said, getting into this week, we start this week with Venus in a conjunction joining up with Saturn. So tomorrow, Venus meets Saturn up in the sky, and Venus and Saturn. Venus is about our values, and Saturn is about our responsibilities, our sense of structure, our sense of strength and security. So under pressure together, it's almost like we really notice what it is that we're drawn to in terms of our practical needs, in terms of the structures that we rely on for support and uplift, and the habits that we have that we rely on for support and uplift, and just feeling very strongly in need of those things. And then also today, Venus is making a sextile to Uranus, which means Saturn is also making a sextile to Uranus. So again, Uranus figured into that triangle I was discussing from last week, that's saying, we have to be open to doing things a little differently. We have to be open to some different options at this time. And Venus is like, I'm open to the options. Saturn is like, I'm open to the options. We just need to make practical progress. We need to show strength and make practical progress. But that might mean embracing some other options at this time. And then the other thing that's happening today, and then I'll let you talk, Jennifer, is Mercury is going direct on Monday. So we're going to have the week bookended by these two directs. Mercury and Venus have been retrograde. They were first retrograde together in Aries and then in Pisces. Now, Mercury is going direct on Monday, and Venus is going to go direct at the end of the week, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. But Mercury direct is a time when we get to finally say what we've been meaning to say, finally take action on those plans that we've been making, that stuff that we've been considering doing, but putting off because we're not sure if it's the right time. The time is coming up.
Sorry, I'm answering the chat. I don't like putting my head down to look at the chat, but that's what I've got to do because not everyone is as kind as they should be in the chat. So, hello, I'm back. Yes, I am really excited about Mercury going direct this week. I have a lot to say. I was just looking at my notes for today, this Sun sextile Jupiter. The opportunity is there to get your message, to get your information out there to a broader audience. That's what Mel and I had discussed earlier. And if she already said that, I apologize. I can't really hear. So, here we are. We're broadcasting to a broader audience. We're talking about some things that are important to us, to, to me, to the world, this energy. And I think it's important that if you're someone who, is like me, that feels like they have something to say, if you feel like saying it today, say it. It doesn't mean that you have to go live on a YouTube channel in order to do that. You can record yourself, video record, audio record yourself. You can do whatever it is, write it down, and share it with the masses when Mercury goes direct. So that way it might be a little bit better received. And my advice for Mercury direct, after I've been looking at how Mercury affects my life and how, because I'm a talker, I'll talk all night. Mel wishes for me to be quiet sometimes. She wakes up and I'm like, hello, blah, 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 and I'm just going on. But in as much as I want to share myself, and in as much as I think that I have something to say, something to add to the conversation, something to add to the experience, I know that once Mercury goes direct, there's still going to be, some wibbly wobbly, some miscommunication, some maybe someone not getting back to you as quickly as you want to because you're excited, you've been waiting. So my advice is to still wait. For me, I'm waiting until Venus goes forward. Venus going direct is big for me because Venus rules my sun sign. And that will tell me exactly what it is, the topics that I need to speak about, which are going to be probably about justice or something of that nature. So, if you've got something to say it, write it down, say it some other time, make sure that your audience is going to be able to receive it, is available to receive it, and say it in the most compassionate way and the most logical way to, have people hear you.
Yes. Yes. We want to speak into people's listening, which, involves saying what you mean to say, but in a way that the other person will hear it because, people
Right.
have different perspectives and points of view, and they have different ways of expressing themselves and different ways of taking in information. And if you say something in a way that somebody's not going to want to hear it, they're going to shut you down. So, if you have a message and it's important that you share it, find a way to share it in a way that the people that you're talking to can hear it.
Right. I mean, I call this time of year like the karmic bitch slaps. Like whatever you're putting out there, whatever you have put out there is going to
Mhm,
come back at
mhm.
you. So again, we're looking at this, what we're going to call it an economic catastrophe, like the stock market's plunging in reaction to something that Trump's been thinking about for a long time, right? Like these are not these tariffs, these ideas, he's
It's
been
not new.
talking about this before he was even president. So he is putting this into action now in a way that is in a time. I mean, Donald Trump, if you need an astrologer to help guide you through, when to make these calls that you want them to go through, call up as somebody. But I mean, right now really isn't the best of times for him to be pushing forward these passionate ventures because they're kicking him back in the face, like they're coming back at him. It's that fight between Pisces and Aries. We're used to, what are we going into, air and fire, and we're moving from
Mhm,
earth and water to air and fire. Like we just need to hold on a minute and then put that stuff
mhm,
out there, and it will be fiery and it will be received. But right now all it is just beep, 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 like a couple of idiots going in the backyard and shooting a BB gun at something steel and not thinking it's gonna come back and hit them. Like, I don't know.
right.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Well, he's shooting his eye out, he's not gonna get a whole lot pushed through, legally at least.
Yeah,
So just wait a minute, is all I'm
just
saying.
wait a minute. Yeah, it does give me hope and a little bit of heart to know that Mercury and Venus being retrograde, a lot of that stuff that he tried to push forward over the past several weeks probably is just going to bounce back. It's probably going to fall apart. It's not going to work. Okay. But
Right.
that goes for everybody. These are the vibrations for everybody. So,
Mhm.
would have been better for him to start after the end of this week, and would have been better, we're just building momentum, and when things when this week ends, things are really going to start popping off. And
Mhm.
popping off, that can be taken either way depending on how you yourself enact it. Okay, so with that in mind, do you have anything else you want to say about Venus conjunct to Saturn or sextile to Uranus before I move on? You can't hear me. Okay. All
I've been
right, then
trying to
I'm
see if
gonna
I can see you on closed caption, but I personally can't hear you.
You can't hear me at all?
Just a little bit. Having to read
Okay,
lips here. Even watching from
okay.
another place to see if I can hear you.
Well, the moon starts the week in Leo, and all this week we are climbing toward a full moon on Saturday in Libra. So the moon starts the week in Leo, and we're in this culminating phase. It's when we're really at work, uh, getting some of our achievements marked off the list, whether they be bigger achievements or the smaller ones you have to do to get the bigger achievement. You're going to mark some things off the list this week. We're going to complete some stuff so that when we get to that full moon, we can look back and see what we have achieved in this past month. And starting at the beginning of the week in Leo, that is a time to be, just active, moving forward on your goals and aspirations, letting your personality shine through, showing a little bit of leadership when it comes to getting the stuff done that you need to get done in terms of enacting your goals. And um, oh my goodness. And then and then on Tuesday, the moon moves on into Virgo, and moon in Virgo, especially during this time of culmination, is like getting your stuff in order, your little pieces, putting everything where it goes, making sure everything has a place and everything is in its place, and really parsing out and getting particular about what needs to happen to get wrapped up. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury just went direct, so it'll be actually a really good time to really like go through your plans, go down your list, and just mark things off, take care of them very simply. And then on Thursday, the moon moves into Libra, which is where it will be on Saturday when we have the full moon in Libra. Sun conjuncting Chiron and Venus going direct. So Venus rules this full moon, and Venus is going direct on the day of the full moon in Libra. And on that same day, Venus in Pisces does have a very healing sort of vibration too. And then Sun is conjuncting Chiron, and that's healing, that's problem solving, especially in our work, social, and civic lives. It's the power to put forward actions and suggestions that will bring about problem solving, that will bring about positive change.
Yes, I think this week is kind of I love that. I love the little setup that we have here with um we've got a Venus trining Mars, and wanting to take action, wanting to make sure that everybody's needs are met and everything, and then we roll along. And then I love that moon from Leo to Virgo, and that practicality that comes with the Virgo moon. I need that right now personally in my life. What the revolution means is looking at my daily habits and tweaking them in order to work best for my life and my lifestyle, what my lifestyle um you know can look like, and what I've moved to a new place and what that looks like for me now in this new place. What I'm consuming. Again, this is my 2025 year of temperance. How much I'm consuming of what, those things that I love that I consume, including, books and TV, just having a really good harmonic balance, a Libra-like balance with that, and reserving those things that we really, really love for, a time when, I don't know, I like rewards, like for a reward, and, upping the bar on when I get a reward, because sometimes I just get a reward because I'm cute. In my brain, I just make up anything like, "Oh, well, I've gotten up this morning,"
So
so,
cute. Might go get
"Yay, I
some
get
ice
a
cream
treat,"
later. Yeah.
or whatever. And it's A-okay to treat yourself is what I'm figuring out, because I don't normally do that. But I also just need to figure out a new rhythm and rhyme to my daily activities and what it is that I wanna put my time and energy into, and what I no longer have time or energy,
Mhm,
to put into something. And then that
mhm.
moon into Libra, and the Venus direct and the Sun conjunct Chiron opposite the moon on Saturday. I just want to say I don't know what time, but I'm going to be doing a spell for this. I think this is going to be a really magical um, twist trio of energies, with Mercury going direct, Venus going direct. We're going to be coming from a more compassionate, passionate part of ourselves. We've had all of
Mhm,
this time to think about what it is, what relation we want to have with certain groups or with ourselves or what have you. And now we're ready to put that in action. We've had this Leo moon at the beginning of the week,
mhm,
moving all the way into Libra. It's just a perfect sign for an air sign to come in, give that Aries fire a little something to do, and see what the hell we can get done here, in our personal
mhm.
lives. And
Right.
not to mention the art and the beauty and the fashion and everything that's happening right now. Some people are back there just creating, and all of a sudden we're going to see these masterpieces come out. We're going to have new music, and it's going to be really the beginning, the start, the spark of a more compassionate us, a more compassionate place that we
Yes,
live in. I believe
yes.
so.
And I just want to give an answer to the person, Safia, down below. Good things are coming for us all, but this
Oh,
is a year of transition, okay, where we're moving back and forth between emotional stuff and action-oriented stuff. And we're just crossing this line back and forth all year. And next year, things are going to move more into an active principle of being, whereas we've been passive in a lot of ways up to now. Things are sort of trying to get to that active way of being. So as long as you go with that flow, which this year is like taking a pause to heal when you need to heal, and then taking action and making progress when you need to take action and make progress, then you will be doing just fine come next year. And in the meantime, like hang in there, okay? Because these vibrations are happening for us all. We are all struggling a little bit. We are all suffering from some frustration and some loss and some confusion. But when we work together, when we collaborate with one another, when we remain open to one another, when we share our message with others, that's when we get the strength and the power we need collectively to take action and make the progress that we seek.
yes, I
Yes,
agree.
queen. And
I'm
also,
answering
especially
somebody
this coming
in the
week, because
chat.
Mercury goes direct on Monday, Venus goes direct on Friday. I mean on Saturday. So those are two planets going direct in one week. That's a very positive sign for the coming week to be a much better one. And I gotta say, these last 4 or 5 weeks were really challenging. And we had an eclipse season in there, and we had eclipses, and we've had a lot of stuff going on. But it's starting to ease off. Okay, the action itself in the astrology is starting to ease off of us for now. We're going to have some quieter weeks ahead, which is not to say that nothing will be happening and there's no reason to check in on your regular current astrology, but it is to say that it won't be quite so lively and hopefully like upending of our sense of peace and normalcy in this life.
Right. Well, normalcy. I mean, you put that shit in quotes because anything that we deem as normal is getting ready to be turned upside down, and it should. It really should. I don't like using that word, but it's time for things to be turned upside down. It's time for things to be turned inside out. It's time for
Mm-hmm,
us to look at different ways and different modes and different everything ways of getting things done as a collective.
mm-hmm.
Collective. This is
As a
not
collect.
time for imperialism. It's not time for oligarchy. It's not time for any of that stuff. It's time for us to know when our independence is being robbed and to act accordingly, whatever that
Yeah.
is. We all have our role here, uh, you know.
Mhm. Yeah. And, with all of this stuff, like later in the year, we're going to have a whole bunch of planets basically conjunct at the beginning of Aries with Neptune and Saturn both there. That is going to be a really combustible time. And it's really going to be one of those times when if there's something to act on, then it's time to take action. But, a lot of us are still sort of waiting for our moment, waiting for our opportunity, sort of, if you ever skipped rope with your friends when you were younger, like waiting to get in at the right moment to do that jump rope routine, right? So you just you got to pick your moment. You got to choose your moment, and then you're going to have to stand up for what you believe in, stand up for what you love. What you love. We're all going to be just fighting for what's important for us this year and
What
next
is
year,
that?
I think.
What is that show we just started watching? Do you remember?
Oh,
Do you remember that?
hacks.
Hacks. Yes, we just started watching Hacks on Cinemax, HBO. I don't know which. They're both okay. Um, um, and there's a relationship. These are comedians, and there's a relationship between an older comedian and someone who's now starting to write for this comedian, and they're not very good about sharing themselves or their real inner deep feelings with one another. But what they will do is they will roast each other. They will try to drag each other out by roasting each other with comedy, like
Mhm.
just really roasting each other. And then all of a sudden they found a common ground. Okay. So
Yeah.
I feel like all of us, whatever side, red, blue, green, whatever side it is that you're on, we've all just been kind of roasting each other to see how far we can push each other or what's really important, or how we're going to react. So I feel like we're doing that. And eventually we're going to find out that thing that's similar, the thing that we're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I can fucks with you, like, oh, I can mess with
Mhm.
you. Oh, I see where we can get along. Like these
Right.
people really have completely and totally different lives, but they found a way that they can get along through roasting each other. And I kind of
Mhm.
love that, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Coming to terms with each other and finding the commonalities, because there are things that collectively all of us need. And like there's the hierarchy of human needs, and there's enough for everybody to have what they need. So eventually we're going to have to get together regardless of ideology and say, okay, but we're going to make sure these people get their needs met.
Right.
Yeah. So looking ahead to next week, not a whole lot on the week next week. Mercury is going to make a conjunction to Neptune as it's moving forward into Aries. It'll be Mercury's first conjunction to Neptune in Aries. So we're going to really have a chance to express ourselves, in terms of what we value on a global level, on a collective level. But the big thing next week is that the sun on Saturday, next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but the next Saturday, the 19th of April, will move into Taurus. So that's the sun moving on every 28 days, 29 days. It's every 28 days. The sun moves on into another sign, and that will be the end of Aries season, which is fine because my birthday is over.
I think we had a good birthday. We ended up being able to see Jack White in concert on a whim, like really just bought the tickets, and an hour later we were heading
On
down.
the road.
We had a great time. I had a great meditation. I keep hearing his guitar in my ears as we speak. It's just wonderful.
Yes, yes. And I got to talk to one of my favorite astrologers, Quan Tracy Cherry, and have my chart read. Uh, Folks, he was amazing. We'll make sure to put the link to his stuff in the
Love
description
you, Quan.
below. Quan, we love you. Thank you so much for your guidance and also your reassurance. I went in there, I was like, Pluto is conjuncting my Mars, and I know that's what's happening to Diddy right now, and I'm kind of scared.
Yes, even the intuitives need guidance from other intuitives
Yes,
right
yes.
now.
So
We're
he
all
was
just trying to
he was
stay on
very kind.
course. We're all trying to become the best versions of ourselves that we can by being here now.
Absolutely,
Is it
absolutely.
time for tarot?
Is it time for tarot? Yay! It's time for
I say
tarot.
tarot. Some people say tarot. Some people say tarot. I say tarot. It's still tarot card reading, the
Mhm.
witchcraft.
The witchcraft.
Somebody said that down in the comments, and I'm just like, okay, so do you blow out birthday candles and make a wish? Witchcraft. Like,
Uh-huh.
no, it's just magic that we're all using.
Do
It's
you
really
say God bless
just
you when somebody sneezes? Like,
right. It's really not, like what I have intuitively is nothing different than what you all have. It's just that I figured out how my particular intuition works, and then sometimes I trust it.
yes, we get better at trusting it as we go.
Discernment is good.
Yes, discernment is good. And sometimes you take a risk and you trust your instinct and it works out for you. And then you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 cards today, and because we've got 2 planets going direct, I'm gonna do 1 card for each planet that's going direct. So we're gonna start with Mercury direct, which happens on Monday. Mercury
Okay.
direct in Pisces, we got the Hermit.
All
So
right.
my first thought of Mercury direct in Pisces is sort of like coming out of our seclusion with a light to shine for the world, right? Like coming out of this retrograde with maybe more understanding and clarity of the message that we have to share, of the wisdom that we have to share, because that's what the hermit does. They go into seclusion to learn something
Mhm.
something sort of deep and profound that they need seclusion to learn. And then they come out of their seclusion to share that wisdom and that knowledge with the rest of us.
Right. Yes, I know a lot of people who are educating themselves right now. A lot of people, unfortunately, are having to move into new careers. And as soon as I saw that light, and today, when I look at that hermit card, I think that is someone peering into someone's light as opposed to their darkness, really seeing what it is that's being illuminated. So to me, it also brings back the eclipse, Mercury
Right.
is going to teach us, tell us something about who we are going forward after that eclipse. It's going to shine a light on the things that
Mhm.
we um, are going to take care of, And it's kind of
Right.
like Nadia Shaw says, and I keep coming back to that, and she's so, so right when she says this. Like, once you go off path, like once you go on a path, you can choose any path that you want to choose. Okay. And I'm a person who's interested in a lot of things, Mel can tell you, and I try out a lot of different things to see what stays with me, but you will always be drugged back to the path that you're supposed to be on, and it might be the path that you're rolling your eyes and you knew it was gonna be that, and it's probably that thing that you're the best at. It's probably the thing that people are most receptive of you with, and that's why a lot of us don't wanna be in the limelight, okay? A lot of us are Dolly Parton's husband. We don't wanna be, in that
Right.
light. We don't want people to know that much shit about our darkness, like, that is a light in the darkness. That is a light, looking at things, looking for something different. Some people just don't want things to be different, some or seen to be different or just be
Mhm.
placed upon above other people. And,
Mhm.
so, I think we're all looking for that light right now within ourselves and outside of ourselves.
I love that interpretation. And I also want to add that, Mercury is expressing Pisces right now or interpreting for Pisces right now. So again, Pisces is about uh, processing. It's about sort of buffering, sort of collecting what it is that we have learned so that we know what we want to do with it going forward. So we're kind of at this cusp energy right now where we're about to take what we've learned and what we value collectively, spiritually, creatively, and find a way to put it out in the world.
Yes, and I wanna remind everybody that there's something that I saw on Instagram, and this light brings it up, like, light brings up a lot to me. Um, our ancestors, while we are carrying with us, however large or small it is, the traumas of their lives, we're also carrying the light. We're also carrying their perseverance, the fact that they still persevered, they still moved on, they still walked on,
Mhm.
they still fought to exist.
Yeah.
At least that's what my ancestors are telling me. They're like, we don't lay down, like we keep moving, we keep going. So I really feel like there's a lot of ancestral beats, just going on. And I think a lot of us have taken that trauma part and then we've got this Chiron thing happening on Saturday as well, right? Is it Chiron and Aries?
Yes,
I can't remember.
yes. It's Sun
Um,
conjunct Chiron.
Sun conjunct Chiron, and the sun is in Aries. So, okay,
Mhm.
right. And my Chiron is in Aries. So there's some healing. Like these eclipses have really brought about some healing for me when I started looking at the energies and how I could integrate some things into it. And it's really been magical and powerful for me to see that light, just like that hermit card right there. Is a lot of light. And it's just like it's time for us to see the truth.
Mhm.
All
Yes.
right.
Okay, so that's Mercury direct.
Ushering in Venus direct card now. I'm like, it's time for
Ushering
us
in
to
the
see the
Venus
truth.
direct pattern. Yes, okay. So then at the end of the week, Venus goes direct in Pisces. Oh, another major arcana, and we got the sun. So
Oh, wow.
everything we've been saying about light. It doesn't get more illuminated, more joyful, more clear of a sense of purpose than really being a naked baby riding into the sunset.
Charge!
Charge!
I think this is telling me I need to do my tits out campaign.
Ah, yes, yes, probably.
Justice.
Yes, justice for people with breasts. We want to be able to go naked in public too.
Yeah. I should be able to take off my shirt. Just
Yeah,
titties.
100.
They just titties.
They're just breasts. So
Oh,
Venus direct in Pisces and the sun, Venus is exalted in Pisces. Venus is, probably at one of her most comfortable places when she's in Pisces. It's not at home, but it's like she's the king's valued guest. Okay. So, and Venus in Pisces is a very compassionate vibration. It's very loving. It's very like, oh, my heart is for the whole wide world. It's not just for one person or, just for my friends and families. Venus in Pisces is our heart is for the whole wide world, and that we desire peace and that we desire reflection and we desire connection with all of everything, not just other people, but life in general. And without the sun, there would be no life on Earth. So,
right.
uh, I think it's kind of pointing back to the sun in Aries, that Venus going direct is going to go back into Aries pretty soon. Um, and that will be, I think, after the sun goes into Taurus, but still pointing to the sun, following what the sun has to say to us in terms of what it is interpreting, what it is expressing at this time, which is sun in Aries, which is, be bold, be forward, have a clarity of purpose, understand what it is that you want to do going forward, and get ready to take action. Because remember, I said we're choosing our moments, and when it's time to step into the action, you just got to go.
Yes, I love this card for Venus direct because I've really been holding back a lot. I haven't been clear on my way forward. And for those of you who haven't seen before, my big three are Libra Sun. I have to think of the Pisces Moon and Capricorn Rising. And my Pisces Moon is a really empathetic, compassionate heart. It is the heart that cries at commercials and happy things and sad things, but also in the darkness, it is the darkness. It is, oh, it will feel like everyone is ganging up on you. Like when the collective is angry and unhappy, like it will feel like everything is ganging up on you. You get really paranoid, but with the Venus aspect in the Pisces, and then we exalt the love and beauty, this is the time where we can come with full compassion, with full knowledge of who we are by heart, and take that message where it needs to fucking go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, take
Yes.
it where it needs to go. Tell it to somebody, air signs, tell it to somebody who
Mm-hmm.
can get the action going. Okay. Like, air signs can't always get the action going, but we will have fire signs around us who can.
Yes.
And we should be very aware of who we are when we're giving directions like that to other people, air signs.
Proliferate your message. Okay.
Yes.
If you have a message, if you need people to hear something, if you need people to know something, to understand something about yourself personally or about the group of people you find yourself sort of in with, then you need to just share the information, share that message so that we all can get it and we all can integrate it.
Right.
It is part of a bigger message that a greater group of people are trying to convey. And it's not just about me or you or whatever group we might be part of, but the fact that we all deserve equal treatment under the law,
Mhm.
and we are all human beings and living, alive. So we all deserve equal treatment under the law. We all deserve, equal opportunities or chances in society. We deserve to be treated equitably among our our peers and cohorts. And that's not just, like I said, that's not just me, that's you too, depending, no matter who you are or where you're coming from, we all need it. And so we need to get onto this collective value thing and be joyful warriors joyful
Joyful
warriors.
warriors. I think I called in the sun sign that almost matches my sticker.
It does. It does.
What is really sticking out to me with these two cards are the light is the both of them have light in it, okay? And to me, this is still about truth. If this is about talking about your truth, trailblazers out there, those ones who call yourself black sheep, it's you. It's the new trailblazers coming up going, "You know what? I've had enough of this shit. I'm gonna have to talk about this. I'm gonna have to share my experience about this. I'm going to have to lead the way in this." And if there's been something that you've been sitting on for quite some time, or something that you've newly healed that you know other people are going through, which is every single one of us. We're not alone in how we feel, or we're not alone, period.
Right.
So, I think this is the time where we're gonna see some people stand up that we've never seen stand up before, and I'm talking about allies in every which way. Gotta get You've gotta get real. We're gonna see the truth to all these matters when this light comes in, and it's gonna bring something really powerful and transformative because the sun just grows things. So, we've been planting these seeds. We've been, following people who are, sowing these seeds, and maybe it's time that we are the people that start sowing our own seeds going forward.
Yeah. Yes.
The light.
Sowing our own seeds so the sun can shine on them and they can grow
Mhm. Mhm.
into practical solutions in our lives.
Yes.
Great reading, my love.
That was a great reading, my love. Thank you. And
Mhm.
so I guess that really kind of concludes our live tarot reading and Astro Insights Live. We are so grateful and thankful that you've come down here to do some astrology with us, and listen to us, us or me rant a little bit because I have something to say. And we do appreciate our YouTube channel, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe.
Mhm.
Mel releases Astrology Today, which is the astrology for the next 48 hours on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, in addition to what we do on Sundays at 10 a.m. Sometimes we have special guests, and if that's you, if you would like to be a special guest on here, please get in contact with us. All of our contact information is all over our channel, and we're on Instagram, so if you'd like to follow us there. We're open to ideas, something you'd like to see in our channel that we can entertain you with. Drop us a line. Otherwise, we really appreciate you all. We hope that you share this video with others. We hope that this message gets through to you in a positive way. We wish you love and peace and happiness through all of your days, not just today, but every day. We hope that you
Every day.
carry that with you and bring that to others as well.
Thank you, friends, so much for joining us, and we will catch you in the next video.
Thank you.